Good morning. Good morning, boy. How's everybody doing? 7:31 in the AM in Chicago. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Well, we got 3 days. That's what we got. All right. So see what happens there. We got a new month coming. May, pretty decent month. All right. Maybe a little bit more vol here as we start to go towards the end of the month. So we'll see what happens. We got those diamonds made to make that move, and then they pull back. I think they're going to go back up to the highs. They just get a little nervous, try to get all these sectors lined up. All right, I still like these staples. Tech, you know, you're chasing. Okay, if you're going for tech, find value, and it's hard to find value right now because everything's inflated. All right, so there's some names out there you can keep an eye out on, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, Micron, $1 trillion company. I think we got it priced at like 200 and change over here. I don't know what everybody else has got. All right, but we'll see. All right. Zscaler is in the news this morning, and that was a miss. That was a pretty good miss, and I think they had a miss last time they were here too on Zscaler. ZS. All right, what do we got here? Puker to the downside, closed at 184.60, trading at 139.50. All right, this is a pretty big move to the downside. All right, from 184 down to 139. I mean, we're coming back into here, folks. We got a gapper coming down into this area right here, Zscaler. All right. That is down $45 this morning and almost down 25%. All right, so big hit there. So it's creeping through to the other guys. CrowdStrike here. Got to $677. This thing's getting pounded on too pretty good here from 671 down to 647. So we'll see what these guys are going to do now. All right, bringing them in here pretty good on CrowdStrike. You're going to see that Fortinet come in as well. FTNT 134. Trading at 128. This one's actually hanging in pretty good. You're just in a 2-day here, so looking to take a two-day back down on Fortinet. That one's a little bit better. Rapido Stupido, our Rapid 7. Where ye? Closed at 719. It's trading at 711, fighting back. All right, so Rapido, you got a hell of a day to deal with here, though. So, all right, so Cyber not having a good morning, not having a good morning at all. We got Salesforce coming soon here. We're gonna get some earnings here, I think, in the next couple of days. All right, trading here flat, really not doing anything, just sitting idle for what is it now? 2 months. I'll go with 3 months. Okay, 4 months. I mean, this is garbage. We have nothing going on here. All right, and staying red, and it shows in the trading. Ping pong, right? Or choppy, or whatever you call that. All right, but we don't like any of this. All right, until we start seeing 2 back up, we're not interested. All right, so Salesforce, we'll see if anything comes out of that. It will report this week. Dick's Sporting Goods. The numbers were they didn't have good guidance. All right, so it's been all over the place on the overnight here. Got up to 237.50, but that was yesterday. So now we got down to 220.16. I mean, this thing is jumping all over the place. All right, so right now we're sitting here at $229. All right, so that brings us down by about $4 lower here. That's where I'm at. We're down $4.13. We're down about 1.7% on Dick's Sporting Goods. All right, nothing really good coming out of retail. I gotta say that. All right, so Dick's, Abercrombie and Fitch put up some good numbers though. ANF, but you know what? it's not showing up on the charts. 77.50. So you're up about $3 and change. I mean, these might have been record earnings, and here we are. 77.48 right there right now. All right, so we'll see what that one. It's better. And it's been just huge. Look at this huge outsider that it just so you can hide in there for a month. All right. So Abercrombie and Fitch, good earnings, but the street says no. All right. A couple of things that we probably should be looking at here. We had a really good day up for GE. I'm looking for GE to give us another backup day. I think you look at that GE and that GE Nova, and I like that Cat Tractor too in your industrials. All right, so I love the inside month with GE. I'd like that for that to stay in and then give us that 212 and get that GE back up on the highs, $348 and change. All right, so let's see if we can keep that inside. We only got a few days left and maybe get a 212 month back up on GE. We'll see. All right, and then GEV, same kind of situation here. Got the insider, just like it. Had a decent day yesterday. GE had a better day yesterday, but a little shooter bit coming back down here on GE Nova. Where we at now? 1068. We closed at 1070, so that's where we are. We'll see what anything's at out of the industrial group, which is trying to fight back up right now. That's been down. I like the staples. Here. XLU. They get a rally. They had a nice couple days here now, and then they pooped out yesterday. 45.31. They came back inside. Now they're sitting right there. Nothing doing. All right, see if they can reverse that and get that back up. Keep those utilities going. We'll see about that group there. XLK, you know the story. NVIDIA is 2-2 down on the week. Okay, 2-2 down on the week. All right, so don't go chasing waterfalls. All right, 2-2 down. And look at this. I mean, NVIDIA is not doing anything. All right. Did make that move to 236.54 on earnings that were flat. Let me tell you something. If we get one bad report on earnings on any tech stock, just look at the hell out of the way. All right. So, and we'll see. I mean, how about all the cybers here getting whacked this morning, getting polywhacked by CrowdStrike and Fortinet? And Zscaler, they're going to brush that off. That doesn't matter. All right, it really don't. I mean, I don't see anybody talking about it, but they are lower this morning. Okay, so NVIDIA, there we are. Micron's a $1 trillion company. If you price it out to where it should be, I don't know. Maybe it's a $200 stock trading at $1,000. I don't know. All right, but we'll see about that. All right. What else we got here? Again, let's kind of stay on the sectors right now. So energy, this is what we're starting to watch. We got lower prices on energy again. Israel's going to finish the job. I don't think the United States is going to be, unless, if Iran does something stupid and kills some of our guys that are there, then they might act. But other than that, I don't think there's any more bombs going in, not from the United States. Okay? There's another war that's raging, and we can't even get any news out of it. There's like no press in there. So this is very strange at times we live in. All right, so 2-1 inside. XLE coming straight back down now, as you can see. So energy, they're trying to get this. They don't like this inflation, especially with this election coming. All right, so we'll see what happens with that. All right, so lower here on there, and you got XCL on your crude. Here we go. We're just continuing to fall here. We're down another 5.63. I think we're going to find a decent place where we can find a support level. We haven't found that yet. Let's see how this week finishes out, and then we'll start to see how crude's going to firm up. All right. I think we're still going to have a lot of volatility in oil within the next, even through the rest of this year. There's going to be who knows what. All right, so nothing's over. All right, but 2-2 down on the week on the crude. So moving our way, right? Because we're looking like we want to find a good spot where there's some good support levels, and then we'll see if we can do anything there. Oil services coming back down, so the whole gang is on retreat, man, coming back down on the crude, all right, and energy. They got to get that. They got to get those. They got to get that energy down for this, inflation that it's causing, especially going into the election. Okay, so they're working on it. They're working on it. All right, so crude lower. Couple of names. Workday. What was this? I forget the story on Workday, but 2-2 back down here now. This one's coming back down as well. So another tech stock that we'll see is taking lower here, 120, 110. All right, so we're breaking down slightly lower from there, not too much. All right, but Workday's going to be a little bit lower there. What else? What's up? Let's take a look at the futures. So diamonds, right, did the thing that we talked about, right? They're probably going to fall apart, which they did. They did it twice. They went up here and they puked it. And now they went up here and they did it again. And today we want to be inside at 506. All right? No hurries. No hurries at all. I'd like this thing to break another day down. All right, watch that GE and GEV with that inside month coming into the new month here on Monday, June 1st. I think that those guys are going to get back up. All right, Cat Tractor's in the same kind of situation there too, but I don't think they're one. Cat's already done the job, man. $1,000, 931. We haven't hit 1,000 yet, but we will be hitting 1,000 soon enough. All right, so Cat keeps moving. Looking at Triple M here, a little bit stronger again. I talked about Triple M yesterday. Can we finish? Can we get this month before the month ends? Kind of stalled out yesterday. It has still had a good day. All right, still had a pretty good day, 154.59. Now this morning, we're 154.27, so we might just keep pushing on this one. I just don't know if we can get another $4 before this week ends, but it could happen. But we're watching it. I'm in it, and that's my price. You can have it there at 158.13. I'll give it to you all day. All right, Triple M, Emerson, EMR. Kind of stalled yesterday. I don't know how Abercrombie and Fitch just came up, but I got to get the other one here. EMR. Struggling with the pad. All right, Emerson. Emerson came back and finished strong at the end of the day on yesterday. All right, there's your 2 hour, 141.99 here. All right, so this thing turned around at the end of the day yesterday. I left a little early, so Emerson finished with a pretty strong day to the upside. Got up to 141. Continuation to the upside. Buy this on weakness. All right, Emerson continues to go. You got the outside month now, and it's going to turn green. All right, it's going to turn green. It's getting probably some exhaustion risk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days, right? For this market, 20 days, right? We'll see. All right, so Emerson, better, finished pretty strong there. Okay, XLY, some of your discretionaries are starting to show up today. A little better today, but the retailers are just not really doing that well. We had Chipotle Mexican Grill the other day. We were down 4%. There you go. Puker day on Chipotle. What about that Shake Shack? Shake Shack down in the dumps at $61. This thing was at $200. All right, Shack with the gapper down. We'll see what happens with that one. All right, then we talked about Dick's Sporting Goods. Their numbers were okay. The stock's a little lower. Abercrombie and Fitch gives us great earnings, and the stock is just up a tad. You think that thing should be a little bit higher, but we'll see what happens there. Looking at Boeing, doing that same thing. It's not ready yet. If you can get it at 216, load it up when you can. But right now at 219.95, you can't touch this thing here. It's just like it's just not doing anything right now, so sit tight with that one. We'll get a little bit closer as we start to look. All right, so SPA says, and I'll get out of here. SPA says 752.25 here. My numbers today coming in on SPX are going to be I'm 75.70 to the upside. We closed at 75.19. We are currently right there. All right, we're right there on SPX. So we'll see you there. And then on the downside, I'm back down to 74.60. 74.60 on the downside, coming back down on your SPX. Those are my numbers today. You see what comes at. All right, so we got the Cybers hitting the skids. We got Micron just continuing blasting. $1 trillion company now. NVIDIA down in the dumps as usual. Stay with the puts. Stay with the puts on NVIDIA. It's just not getting the job done. All right. But I do say if it does get perhaps up through that 18, if it gets back up to that 218, it could have a trigger that could move right back up to 223. But they're going to have to show up, and they're going to have to show up with force. All right, so we'll see what happens there on that one as well. All right, I talked about the Qs. High. I got one more. High. All right, Qs. Better again here this morning here. Where are we at now? 737.60. We closed at 730.28. We're starting to fall back on that. But, I mean, Qs, solid gone. Marvel's up higher again this morning now. So I'll tell you this, man. I'm going to leave you with this. The whole game is earnings. If they start to miss, this whole thing could start to cause a lot of trouble. Right now, they're hanging their hats on earnings. We keep doing it. They're bragging about all the great earnings that they're having. You're going to have to keep bringing them. All right, that's my thoughts on the markets here. Our 10-year is at 447. It's a little bit lower here, and the dollar's a little bit lower this morning again. All right, so I like the staples. I think I'm going to watch those today. I think that group is starting to get a little bit better. Again, the diamonds are going to have to pick up their act, all right? We're going to have to get these diamonds to do what they do. All right, they triangled out. They moved it up. They triangled out. Moved up, triangled out. This is the second triangle out from here. All right, so are we going to get back up through 508 and start moving back up to the upside? I don't know. Maybe not today. Watch that GE and watch that GE Nova and watch that CAT. If those three start to move, that whole industrial group will start to get better. All right, the airlines are still hot. They're coming in hot again this morning. I'm in this American Airlines. It's hot. It's open up $15 now, $15.13 now. All right, airlines still going to the upside. All right, loving it with the oil coming down. Get in the airlines. I think there's room to move on those. All right, be good.